Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Ayunur Alfat with student number 088 from class C Indralaya. So in this video, I wanna present and I wanna explain about my answer from the final exam assignment. Let's get started. A sentence is a combination of words that expresses a complex thought or idea. It usually consists of a subject, which indicates who or what the sentence is about, and a predicate, which explains what the subject does or describes something about it. Sentences are categorized based on their purpose into declarative sentence or statements, interrogative sentence or questions, imperative sentence or commands or requests, and exclamatory sentence. For example, the cat is sleeping is a declarative sentence, while is the cat sleeping is an interrogative sentence. Sentence can also be classified by their structure, such as simple sentence with one independent clause, like she reads, or complex sentence with an independent clause and a dependent clause, like she reads because she loves learning. Overall, sentences are fundamental for clear and effective communication. Question number 2. First, simple sentence. Simple sentence is a sentence that contains one independent clause, which can stand alone because it has a subject and a predicate that express a complex thought. Example, she enjoys reading. She is subject who performs the action. Enjoys reading is predicate, and this is one independent clause because it conveys a complete idea and does not require additional information to make sense. The second one is compound sentence. Compound sentence is a sentence that has two or more independent clauses joined by a coordinating conjunction like such as, and, but, or a semicolon. Example, she enjoys reading and she often writes story. Clause 1, she enjoys reading. She is subject, enjoys reading is predicate, and this is independent because this clause can stand alone as a complete sentence. Clause 2, she often writes stories. Subject she, predicate often writes story, independent. This clause can also stand alone as a complete sentence. This is a compound sentence because it connected with two independent clauses using the coordinating conjunction and. Third, complex sentence. Complex sentence is a sentence that contains one independent clause and at least one dependent clause, which can't stand alone because it depends on the main clause to make sense. Example, she enjoys reading because it helps her relax. Independent clause, she enjoys reading. Subject she, predicate enjoys reading, and this clause can stand alone and expresses a complex thought. Dependent clause because it helps her relax. Subject it, predicate helps her relax, and this clause start with a subordinating conjunction because, so it can stand alone and needs the main clause to complete its meaning. That's why the sentence is dependent. Question number 3. A compound sentence is a type of sentence that contains two or more independent clauses joined together. Each independent clause in a compound sentence can stand alone as a complete sentence because it has a subject, a predicate, and expresses a complete thought. The clauses are connecting using, first, coordinating conjunction like and, but, nor, or, for, so, yet. The second one, connected by a semicolon, and the last one with conjunctive adverb, like however, therefore, moreover, with a semicolon and a comma. Here are three more examples of compound sentence. Example number 1, the sun was shining brightly, so we decided to have a picnic. Independent clause 1, the sun was shining brightly. Independent clause 2, we decided to have a picnic. Coordinating conjunction is so. Example 2, he studied all night, yet he still felt unprepared for the exam. Independent clause 1, he studied all night. Independent clause 2, he still felt unprepared for the exam. Coordinating conjunction, yet. Example number 3, I prefer tea, but my sister enjoys coffee. In independent clause 1, I prefer tea. Independent clause 2, my sister enjoys coffee. Coordinating conjunction, but. Question number 4. A complex sentence is a sentence that contains one independent clause and at least one dependent clause. Independent clause is the sentence can stand alone as a complete sentence because it expresses a complete thought. It has both a subject and a predicate. Dependent clause is the sentence can't stand alone because it doesn't express a complete thought. It relies on the independent clause to make sense. Dependent clauses usually begin with subordinating conjunction like because, although, if, when, while, after, and etc. Example of complex sentence. Example number 1, I stay home because it was raining. Independent clause, I stay home. Dependent clause, because it was raining. The dependent clause start with the subordinating conjunction because. Number 2, she finished the project after she got home. Independent clause, she finished the project. Dependent clause, after she got home. And the dependent clause begins with after. Number 3, although he was tired, he kept working. Independent clause, he kept working. Dependent clause, although he was tired. The dependent clause begins with although. Number 5. A subordinate clause, also known as a dependent clause, is a group of words that has both a subject and a predicate but cannot stand alone as a complete sentence. It depends on an independent clause, a complete sentence, to provide a full meaning. A subordinate clause is typically introduced by a subordinating conjunction, such as because, although, if, when, while, since, unless, etc. Or a relative pronoun like who, whom, whose, which, that. Because a subordinate clause cannot express a complete thought by itself, it must be connected to an independent clauses to form a complex sentence. This clause add extra information to a sentence like time, reason, condition, or detail about a noun. There are 3 types of subordinate clause. First, noun clause. Noun clause is a clause that functions as a noun in a sentence, serving as a subject, object, or complement. For example, example number 1, what he said is true. This clause functions as the subject. 2. Adjective clause. Adjective clause is a clause that provides additional information about a noun or pronoun in the sentence. Example, the book that you gave me is interesting. This clause explains the noun book. 3. Adverbial clause. A clause that provides information about the time, place, reason, or manner of an action. Example, I will call you when I arrive. This clause explains the time of the action call. Number 6. An adjective clause is a dependent clause that modifies or describes a noun or pronoun in the main clause of a sentence. It usually begins with relative pronoun like who, whom, whose, which, or that. The adjective clause provides additional information about the noun it modifies. First, the woman who lived next door is my friend. 2. The student whose exams were postponed are real life. And example number 3, the car which he drives is very expensive. Number 7. A noun clause is a dependent clause that functions as a noun in a sentence. It can act as subject, object, or complement. Noun clause often begin with words like what, that, who, how, why, etc. Example number 1, I don't know where he went. The noun clause where he went is the object of the verb know. 2. The question is whether we can finish on time. The noun clause whether we can finish on time is the complement of the subject, the question. Number 3. How they solve the problem is still a mystery. The noun clause how they solve the problem is the subject of the sentence. Question number 8. An adverbial clause is a dependent clause that functions as an adverb in a sentence. It provides information about the time, place, reason, condition, manner, or frequency of the action in the main clause. Adverbial clauses usually begin with subordinating conjunction, such as when, because, if, although, since, etc. Example number 1, I will call you when I arrive. The adverbial clause when I arrive tells us the time of the action call. Example number 2, she stayed home because she was feeling sick. The adverbial clause because she was feeling sick explains the reason for staying home. Example number 3, He sings as if he were a professional. The adverbial clause as if he were a professional describe the manner in which he sings. Question number 9. Coordinating conjunction and subordinating conjunction are used in different situations to link words, phrases, or clauses. Here's when to use each. First, coordinating conjunction. Coordinating conjunction are used to connect words, phrases, or independent clauses that are of equal importance or rank. These conjunctions join elements that are grammatically similar. The main coordinating conjunctions are for, and, but, or yet, so, often remembered by the acronym FUN BOYS. Example, I want to go to the park, but it's raining. But connects to independent clause. I want to go park and it's raining. Number 2, he likes both tea and coffee. And connect to noun, tea and coffee. Number 2, subordinated conjunction. Subordinated conjunction are used to link a dependent or subordinate clause to an independent clause. This creates a relationship of dependence where one clause cannot stand alone. Common subordinated conjunction include because, although, if, when, while, since, unless, after, before, until, as. And for example, I stay home because it was raining. Because introduce a dependent clause. Because it was raining, which explains the reason for the action in the main clause, I stay home. Example number 2, although she was tired, she finished her work. Although introduced the dependent clause. Although she was tired, which provide contrast to the main clause, she finished her work. And the last one, number 10. Yes, pronoun referents are important because they help ensure clarity and prevent confusion in communication. A pronoun referent is the noun or noun phrase to which a pronoun refers. When a pronoun is used, it must be clear what or who the pronoun is replacing. Here's why pronoun referents are crucial. First, avoiding ambiguity. If the pronoun referent is unclear, readers or listener may not understand who or what the pronoun is referring to. This can lead to confusing or misinterpretation of the message. The second one, maintaining coherence. Clear pronoun referents help maintaining the flow of conversation or writing. They make it easier to follow the subject matter without constantly repeating nouns. Third, enhancing communication efficiency using pronouns properly. Allow for more concise communication. Repeating noun unnecessary can make sentence longer and more cumbersome. And the last one, preventing ambiguity in complex sentence. In sentence with multiple subject or object, it's especially important to ensure that pronouns clearly revert to the correct noun. By answering clear pronoun reference, you enhance clarity, reduce misunderstanding, and make communication smoother. That's all my explanation. Sorry for some mistakes. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.